Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. It is time to take a look. We got a little bit of a PSA, and no, not the grading company. We got a PSA as in public service announcement. And yes, all of you veteran collectors, you're going to be able to identify this bad boy right away because there's some pretty obvious signs that this is counterfeit stuff. We haven't seen many, I guess, counterfeit Japanese booster boxes and or cards, at least not anywhere close to as many as we've seen in English. We have seen some. We've seen fake PSA cases. We've seen all kinds of ridiculous shenanigans, a lot of repacks, a lot of reseals, a lot of stuff being put in there that isn't packs, a lot of the good packs being taken out. But today we have a little bit of a warning, and if you have newbie friends that are looking at getting into Japanese, be careful where you're buying this stuff. Be careful what you're getting as returns. It's a little bit obvious with the 151 that we're going to be taking a look at because the strip is not there. The strip it is not on the box itself, but this box is pretty convincing. And again, the box can be a real box. The shrink wrap, you need to trust all aspects, especially if you're keeping the stuff sealed, especially if you're buying it in a way that does not allow you to get a refund if it ends up being tampered with or fake. So here we have it. We have a Sakura's Card Shop, friend of the channel here, and a great spot where you should be probably getting your Japanese Pokemon product. Again, you need to be careful, especially if you do not want to keep a Japanese booster box for 10 years. It's worth a ton of money, and you find out that it's either fake, or you find out that it's filled with something that isn't what it's supposed to be. Be careful. Make sure you're learning your stuff. If you're still in doubt, come on into the Rattle Pokemon Discord, post some pictures, and we'll advise you, hey, that's pretty sketch. You might want to avoid that, or no, it looks pretty good. You're doing all right. Now, the post here, fake 151 booster boxes are being sold on TikTok. No pull tab. Packs have jagged crimps. They always have the jagged crimps. The fake packs like to have jagged crimps. I don't know how they can't get that right. You would think they would just use a straight blade to cut the packs apart, but they usually don't. Cards and packs ranging from 5 to 9 plus per pack. Okay, we got a little bit of inconsistency. Duplicate hits, faded colors, and many other issues. These do have the blue layer like Asian countries, but it is very thick. I think the front side of it was also thicker than usual, the printed layer. I'm trying to find the seller's info. I believe they were banned. So essentially, this is boxes that were returned. So you got to be careful as a seller that you're not getting bamboozled with a return of boxes that are not the correct boxes. Again, you should be able to identify this if you can see that the packs themselves have the old crinkle dinkle on them. That's a telltale sign that you're in bad shape. We have another picture here. As you can see, the randomization, not exactly their strong suit. They messed this up a little bit. We have a lot of secret rare psychic energies. We have a single Bulbasaur here with a lot of these Psyducks all over the place, Machokes all over the place. With a lot of these fake cards, these fake packs, anything like that. I mean, from a distance, those are pretty consistent, are pretty convincing, I guess, rather. But the randomization's not there. If you had these in person, if you have a jeweler's loop, I suggest you get a jeweler's loop. There should be a link to one down below. It'll cost you a few bucks. It might take a while to get to you. You should have one. You should have one just in case there's something that's extremely convincing. These cards are probably scans of the real thing. There's a 999% chance that these guys that are printing this stuff do not have the original files in order to do so. So they're going to probably take a scan of a legitimate card and then they're going to print it. It's going to have defects. It's going to have weird things. The rosette is not going to look proper. If you don't know what I'm talking about, come on into the Discord and I'll show you the P-hole test. Now, we've seen many times here, there are many hurdles, especially where there's money, there is going to be scams. And a Japanese product, though it has kind of settled down, and then it settled way down because the yen was absolutely in a trash can. It seems like it's popped back up. So there might be some adjustments, a little bit up and down, but in general, it was a scary time. It was a scary time to buy Japanese Pokemon cards because everything was marked up way above MSRP. Reprints were a very, very real possibility. Older stuff maybe less of a possibility. But again, when everything goes into something, when something shoots up in price, you probably want to avoid it just for the time being. Or, tread lightly. You don't want to go all in on something that's spiked like crazy. We can just look back at the Sword and Shield alt arts that I'm pretty sure every single one of them has retraced at this point in time. It's the same with the pandemic. Yes, stuff might not go back to where it was priced originally, but you do not want to be buying at the tippy top, and then all of a sudden you wasted a ton of money that you could have spent on other cards. So be careful with that. Be careful with Japanese sealed product. Be careful with sealed product in general. If there's any time when you want to be extra super sure that you're paying, maybe you're paying an extra $5, I'm telling you that it's worth it. Knowing that it's a legitimate box, knowing that you don't have to worry about it, and even avoiding the hassle. If you're protected, if you have some sort of buyer protection, avoiding the hassle of having to get that money back is going to be worth it for you. Spend that extra time doing something else, selling off your duplicates, whatever you got to do. It's going to be a better use of your time. Saving $5, buying somewhere sketch as hell is going to burn you. If it doesn't burn you in the wallet, it's going to burn you with your time. Time is money, etc., etc. Thank you for using the Linktree. Much appreciated. This video and all the other videos are brought to you by the Linktree, where you can save some money with some discount codes. Supports the channel at the same time. I would rather you do that than send me money directly. That is the way it works. I got a bunch of stuff here that you can click on before you shop on those places. And it supports the channel at no cost. No cost. Thank you very much for everyone that's been doing that. We also have the 7% off at Securus Card Shop. Mandatory plug there for the individual that made this post. Now we'll get into more details here. We got some stuff going on. So yes, when you have the box apart, you can see there's definitely some inconsistencies with what a real box should look like. From the outside, these look pretty damn good. Like concerningly good. They can make adjustments. They can do it with older sets, and it'll be something to look out for. And even when the box is real, you got to make sure you're getting it from somewhere reputable, because it might be a reseal box. So you need to know what the wrap feels like. Just because the wrap has bubbles and wobbles all over it doesn't necessarily mean that it's fake. It's more so the feel, the thickness, the feel of the wrap itself. If it's crunchy, get the hell out. You just got scammed. Talking from experience here. And yes, the places where you can't get a refund, super dangerous, extra dangerous. Even if you don't get scammed every time by somebody, you don't know where they got those boxes from. You don't know who they were sleeping with. And maybe they're going to transmit a fake box to you, you know? So make sure you wrap it and make sure that you know all of your Pokemon card dealers' previous partners. Here we have one of the fake cards ripped in half. This is the Psychic Energy. We'll take a look at it. Actually has texture on it, which is impressive. And the texture isn't that far off from what the actual texture is. So in English cards, usually the texture, it's not even the correct pattern. It's on there. It looks like crap. It doesn't look like the original pattern. Always, whenever you're in doubt, compare to known real examples. You have Google. It will absolutely save your ass. And most of the time, and this is still an option. If you're learning, don't be afraid. Come into the Discord, post it in the general chat, be like, hey, is this a real card? And we will tell you if it's real or not. I'll usually try to push you to know or understand how you should be able to look this up. But if you're concerned that this is a fake card, any card that you receive, any card that you're purchasing, you're worried about it, just Google images of it. You can look at graded cards. You can look at cards from legitimate sources, from reputable sellers. Match the texture, match the print, all of that fun stuff. I just spit all over the place. But next image. So here we have it. The boxes themselves, they don't have the rip strip. So the Japanese Pokemon cards, for anyone that isn't aware, they added this strip that rips across the front. It was supposed to be like a tamper-proof seal, tamper-proof measure, where you had to rip it open. And if you ripped open, then whoop-de-doo, someone can tell that you opened the box. Now, the problem with that is the fact that you can just pull the sides off, pull the sides open, and the rip strip remains. So just because there's a rip strip on it does not mean it's safe to proceed. Here we have another ripped card. We got the Machoke. I think this is the Machoke card. I think it has, does it have all three? It has a Machop. Does it have Machops in it too? I think it might. It's a Machoke card. Regardless, they're doing things around the house and they're going up and down ladders. Pretty cool, but not cool when it ends up being fake. Here are the packs themselves. We'll take a little look. Yes, if you have crinkle packs, they're like what are those kind of, like the scissors, the craft scissors that have the crinkle back and forth? You're in bad shape. You do not want to see that at any point in time. This is something they could adjust, so it is not the only thing that you should be looking for. Again, look for all differences, any differences, all differences, and sealed product needs to be. It absolutely needs to be from somewhere reputable. If you buy a single from somewhere, if it's not that expensive, whatever. If you can see the single beforehand and you're willing to take the risk from somewhere that you might get ripped off, go for it. But if it's expensive for you, whatever your budget is, whatever is your definition of expensive, make sure you're protecting yourself with buyer protection. Make sure you're able to identify if it's fake as soon as you get it, in case they send something else, whatever it is. This is pretty scary. This is an image of both a real box on the top and a fake box on the bottom, and they are very close. You can see there's a little bit of a print quality. If you had this in person and you look at it under magnification, you got your $3-4 jeweler's loop, whatever they are now. They went up in price. They used to be like $1 or something. $1, $2. You're going to be able to see differences here in the print quality itself. Again, just like the cards, the cardboard is printed on. This is probably a scan of that cardboard, and the results are close, but no cigar. Here's the backside. And usually the backside, usually the text on the backside, usually that's incorrect. It seems like the only difference here, or the only major difference, we have a little bit of a difference here with like where these, the Pokemon silhouettes are kind of chopped off. But the only real difference here, the only significant difference is kind of the text. It's a little bit more bold on the bottom here where this is the fake box. And this is concerning because if they can pump out a bunch of this stuff, it's going to fool people. It's not going to fool everyone. Most people that are experienced in the hobby are going to be buying from somewhere reputable. They're going to know what they're looking at. And if they don't, they're going to be opening at least some of it up to confirm that it's real. This could scam a lot of people. We've seen it once again. Again, not everyone has experience in the hobby. Not everyone, you can't blame them for that. If they're new, if they're not familiar with Japanese, whatever it might be, if they don't have as much time as myself or anyone else that spends way too much time every single day looking at animals, pretend animals, Pokemon on cardboard. My eyes. It's in my eyes. The Pokemon are in my eyes. Here are the packs themselves. It looks like they can't even kind of wrap them consistently. So you have some of the text on the side here. That's kind of what's going on there. And again, these are all the crinkle dinkles. But we're getting scary close here. Like these cards from a distance. There's another one of those things where if you do receive it, if you didn't realize it, if the pictures are bad, even if it's an eBay listing and you're protected on this stuff, the vast majority of people are not going to be able to tell these are fake just from the image alone. Maybe they realize it when they get them in person. The card feels a little weird, feels a little thick. They can see it up close. They see like, hey, the print quality isn't that good. But again, this is comparison. If you receive one of these and you're like, this looks a little off. What's going on with this? Look up a real example. And if you don't have a real example in person, you can look it up online. And you should have some other Pokemon card with the same back on it that you can compare the back. We'll do that in a second here. And then we have the several reverses per pack that was going on here. Multiple reverse hollows per pack. You shouldn't have that. You should have one. Yes, errors can happen, but when it's every single pack and you're getting you're getting reverses left and right. These are a little bit more obvious. Like the more foil that's shown, the more you can kind of see the difference between that, the print quality and everything else. I mean, the ink and the print quality in general is concerning enough. So you need to be on the lookout for fake cards. You need to be on the lookout for fake boxes. You need to be on the lookout for fake graded cards. We've seen it before. Careful. Be careful out there, guys. Fake graded card cases, I guess. Sometimes the card inside is a real card. Sometimes it's not a real card. Here is the Psychic Energy. And this is impressive, but also a little bit scary that someone could easily fall for this. This is a fake card. This is a fake card from one of those fake boxes that contain the fake packs that has the fake cards. So if you're buying stuff like this, yes, it's probably not that expensive. But at the same time, you don't want to be buying fake cards. You don't want to be supporting the people that are selling the fake cards. But you also don't want to end up with the fake cards in your collection. Years from now, you go back flipping through it. You realize, hey, that purple energy, that is, shout out to Collectibles Guru, the biggest joke in Pokemon, maybe. One of the biggest. He's definitely up there. He's a nominee for sure. But this is concerning. Yes, the texture is off. The texture is not as prominent as it should be, but the texture is there. And this is going to fool a lot of people. This is scary. It's scary for them. I feel for anyone that's new, that's trying to learn this stuff. And yes, there is definitely a learning curve. There are a lot of hurdles to avoid. This is not every single card is going to be fake. Every single secret purple energy. I mean, there's a lot of them coming out of that box. So there could be a lot of them on the market. So be careful. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you know what you're looking at when you're buying this stuff, and you'll be just fine. This is not like a scare tactic like, oh, everyone's going to get ripped off with purple energies. Everyone. All the purple energies. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to make sure you guys are, taking the steps to learn what is real, what is fake, what to avoid, where to buy, that kind of thing. And I don't care if you buy from the places that I recommend you buy from, but make sure it's somewhere reputable. Whatever your favorite place is to purchase, make sure it's reputable, and make sure with the Japanese stuff, it can oftentimes exchange hands quite a few times. Or if you're buying on the secondary market because you think you got a deal, bad things can happen to you. Be careful. Here's what the real one looks like. You can see that the quality, print quality, definitely better. Texture quality, definitely better. It is off-center slightly, shifted slightly, I guess we should say, with the texture. They did try to replicate the texture itself. You can see here it's more of like a weird grid kind of printed pattern on the purple area, where this is more of a sparkle darkle, which is pretty nice, pretty beautiful. And just the print quality, you can kind of see the silhouettes around the shiny sparkles, shiny crisscross sparkles, whatever you want to call them, is definitely not as good. So this is probably just a scan and whatever they used to add the texture. Again, typically a lot of the English stuff that started having texture, it took the counterfeiters quite a while before they actually added or incorporated some sort of texture onto the cards. Once they did, the textures were never right because it would be probably pretty difficult to make them exact, especially some of the complex and changing patterns that are on a lot of that stuff. So they just slap a texture on it. English cards like Sun and Moon era, Sword and Shield era, just the texture alone. You can ignore the print quality and everything else on the rest of the card. Usually the texture alone is enough to tell, hey, this is a fake boy. So here we have fake, real, another real here. For comparison, again, this is in a case and you can still kind of see the pronounced texture area. Very beautiful, very lovely. We have the backside of the real card, or the fake card rather. This is the fake one. That was just a mess up with my words here. It is off-centered, not necessarily an indicator that something is fake, but you can see here that the print quality, the surface itself, the quality of the surface itself is not on par with most cards. You can see in here, and especially if you took a closer look, that you got some weird artifacts and stuff like that, where this should be crispy clean in around the letters. You can check the P hole in Japanese or in English. It's my favorite spot to check. Take your jeweler's loop. You can look in here and compare a real card, a known real card that you have laying around, compare it to the card in question. Usually it doesn't come to that. Usually it shouldn't have to come to that. But if you want to double check, triple check, and then you also have to check the front as well for the same inconsistencies with weird artifacts that might happen with something that's scanned and reprinted. It's typically going to be there. The best counterfeits are scans and reprints of stuff, and they're going to have that the weirdness that's going on with what should be clean lines are not clean lines because it's a scan. Scan and a scam. All right, here we have a real deal, and you can see here much cleaner on the lines, much cleaner inside the P hole. And again, English is my favorite P hole to check, but you could do it with Japanese. You could choose pretty much any area on the card itself, where the clean lines are. If those lines are not clean with text and stuff like that, where it's a separate layer, you just have to check that area to find out, hey, is this right? But you can also see just how, it's very difficult without the original files and equipment to print a card that looks as good as a real card, because you just can't. You're going based on pulling information from something, and in that transition from scanning to printing, it's just not going to be as clean. You don't have the dot matrix. Now, before I let you guys go, You might have noticed that we got some posts, some community posts that have been putting up here. These are important for 3 reasons, and we're going to go through that. If it was any one reason, I probably wouldn't continue to do them. This was something that I tried out. It's been successful, but essentially, I've been posting fake listings that are on eBay. This is something that eBay should be able to clean up themselves. They should have a small team where they go through and they purge all of the fake cards, the obviously fake cards. You need somebody that's like somewhat knowledgeable. They can go through here and get rid of all the obvious fake stuff. This is a hassle. This is something that they should do anyway, because the buyer experience is terrible. Buyers hate this stuff. The same with like the Walmart third party, Target third party, and all that other crap where you have a bunch of counterfeit Pokemon cards on there, Amazon especially, where basically grandma, mom, dad, whoever that doesn't give a crap about Pokemon cards is going to go on there. They're going to buy whatever they think is cheap and looks good and is going to make little Timmy happy. Little Timmy's going to bring that crap to school and he's going to trade it. He's going to trade it for real cards. Little Jimmy, the traded little Timmy, is then going to get ripped off. It's going to suck. He's going to be missing out on his card. Maybe he finds out years later when he goes back through his collection. Maybe he finds out when he brings it to someone to check if they're real, a game store or whatever. He wants to trade something with someone, and they're like, "No, that's fake garbage that you traded for." Because Timmy's mom, was it Timmy the first one? Timmy's mom or grandma didn't know what was going on. So reason 1, we're cleaning it up a little bit. We're getting rid of potential listings, and no, we can't get them all. We'll never remove all the fake listings, but if we can even put a small dent in that, if we save some people from buying some fake stuff, voila. I'm also notifying the people that have the listing to put the listing up in case it was an honest mistake and they got the cards and they got ripped off, or they happened upon some fake cards. Maybe they don't know. So we're informing potential sellers, which should cut down on the amount of fake listings. If they're being honest, if they didn't know, I'll send them a copy. I'll say, hey, if you didn't know, just in case you didn't know, this is fake. This is counterfeit. And they'll either reply back and pretend that they didn't know, or they'll say they didn't know. Maybe they even take the listing down themselves. But regardless, that's helping them out, even if, we don't want them to continue the cycle of burning other people. Those other people get burned. They don't realize it. Even the stuff under like eBay guarantee, you're still wasting people's time, giving them a poor experience, and potentially driving them away from the hobby itself. Now, reason number 2, these are affiliate links. So you're supporting the channel by clicking on this. If you happen to buy anything else that you were going to buy anyway, within 24 hours, it supports the channel here. It's much appreciated. The same way that you can use the link tree to support the channel before you buy stuff at whatever store, essentially. Click on the thing, use the code, whatever you got to do, supports the channel. Awesome. That's a nice little way that it's worth my time. It helps me spend my time on something like this. Now, reason number 3 is a good one, and one that I didn't initially think of. But reason number 3 is the fact that people that see these posts oftentimes will learn how to identify a fake. There have been many replies to these that say, hey, how do you know this is fake? I think this looks real. And then I will explain in the comments, or somebody else might get to it before I do. This is how you know it's fake. This one here is lacking texture. It's got this weird rainbowy glow that is usually an indicator that the foil is fake, that the card is fake. The print quality, as you can see around the necks of the Latios and Latias, not great. And again, this is a missing texture. So there's many ways that you can point this out and help people then learn how to identify fakes for themselves. So this is like a super duper win. And it's way more of a win than I thought it was going to be. This is awesome, and I'm going to continue to do so. Apologies for people that don't like to see these posts. We're putting them on the community posts on YouTube. We're putting them on the old Instagram stories, so you can click on there. And then we're also putting them on the old X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, much appreciated for everyone that has been contributing to those. Click on it, give it a quick report if you have time to do so. And then if you're shopping on eBay, you support the channel. If you comment, if you share in any way, it is always appreciated. The more people that can see this, the better. Teach some people how to identify fakes. Teach some people on the seller end of things that, hey, this is fake. If you're not doing this on purpose, purposely trying to rip people off. Often I don't know what the percentage is. Most of the time they're trying to rip people off, especially with like the booster boxes and stuff like that. But I think it's an overall win, and thank you for everyone that has been contributing to that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining the Discord. See you next time. Also, if you're selling and buying on eBay, there's the self-promotion or Fanatics Collect or TCG Player or wherever. You're free to join the Discord and promote your stuff if you're a new seller, or if you just want some free advertising. I mean, it's wild to me that that more people don't take advantage of that, but it's there. It's there if you want it. It's there if you want to use it. It's there if you want potentially an extra 1,000 views on your listings. It's there. It's free. Don't pay for the eBay like promoted listing. Just copy paste the link to your eBay listing in the appropriate channel in the Discord, and voila, you're off to the races. Have a good day.